One day I was with a group of friends and we are talking, and one of them said something very funny. He said that if his former boss would come to town and announce, and he sees him from afar while he's at work, he'd actually drop everything and run and hide. Hello, how are you doing? Barnabas here. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. Turn the bell on so you get notified when I post a new video. In today's video, I would like to talk to those who are already in Australia or those who are already in the diaspora. And the question today is, are you proud of your job? What are you doing in Australia? I would like to speak about things that make people not proud of what they're doing and things that we can do to be able to correct that. Whether you're doing it for survival or you're already settled on that as your career, are you really proud of what you're doing? Whether you're doing disability support work, whether you're working at the aged care, you're doing cleaning, you're doing kitchen hand, you're working at a construction company, or whatever you're doing, are you proud of what you're doing? Now, what are the things that make people not proud of what they're doing? All right, like my friend, what really makes people not proud of what they're doing? Number one is cultural expectation. Maybe at a home, those kind of jobs are not held in with high esteem, or those kind of jobs are not ones that people are proud of. All right, and I can tell you for a fact where I come from, things like caring for people with disability, those are jobs that are not culturally held up with high esteem. They are not done, people are not paid well for taking care of people with disability, or elderly people and things like that. For example, people working in construction are probably paid really poorly paid, and so people have a perception that when you're working in a construction or mjengo, you're really poorly paid. All right, so when you're coming from home with that kind of mentality and you get a job here as a mtu wa mjengo, then you would not want anybody to know that you came from wherever you came from as an immigrant and come here to work in a construction company. Jobs like cleaning, okay? Back home, cleaners are the most least paid, all right? They're poorly paid with very poor working condition. And so when you come here and find a job like that, whether you are paid well or not, you still have that stigma, that, you're a cleaner, you're just being a cleaner, So culture and the perception of people culturally, towards certain jobs make you not proud of what you're doing. You might be paid really well, but just because of how the cultural setup and perception of people towards those kind of jobs, then you find yourself, not being proud of what you're doing. Society has taken, has made classes, and tag them towards certain jobs. All right, so that misunderstanding, when you come with it to the diaspora, it makes you to be very careful when you're choosing this kind of jobs. All right, you might even not want to do a job that is well paying, but just because the stigma that is attached to the name of that job, then you end up not liking it. When you do it, you don't do it with all your heart. Yeah, for example, if you were to tell your friends back home that you're working in a construction company, they will tell you when you mtu wa mjengo, they would probably think you're the least paid in the society. All right, but I can tell you for a fact that people who work in the construction are probably better paid than majority of people work in the offices and so on. Okay, so just the social stigma that is attached towards certain careers make people not to be proud of what they're doing. The third reason why some people are not proud of what they're doing is because they are in transition mode. People come to the diaspora, they pick certain jobs, and they just want to do it to survive. All right, they just do it, and they want to transition to the next thing. And so, whether the job is well paying and the job is good, and is, the working conditions are good, they are not for it. They're just doing it to pay their bills and just want to transit. It might be a good thing, especially if that's not what you plan to do as a career, but it might also be a hindrance if it is a good opportunity to even change your career, or good opportunity to settle in some kind of career, and even develop to do a business and to do something like that, to build a career out of it. So you need to be careful, whether you're doing it out of survival, or you want to build a career. You need to love what you're doing first. All right, love what you're doing. Don't allow the stigma, don't allow perceptions of people to hinder you from enjoying what you're doing. Another reason might be family pressure, or some family, husband, wife. You got a job and they tell you, no, don't do this. It's how will other people perceive our family to be. So or maybe you call home and you say, I'm doing this kind of job, and then they react like, what? You are doing a job in the kitchen, you're doing a kitchen hand job, while you're sending the money from the same job, but they might be like, is that what you left a good job here for? So family dynamics, or family pressure, or understanding or misunderstanding can also cause somebody not to be proud of what they're doing. And lastly, just purpose or conflict. Sometimes what you had purpose to do when you move to the diaspora, you come and find that things have changed, the situation and circumstances have changed, and so you in your mind, you really wanted to do a particular job, and that's what you thought that you'd land here and start doing, and then you find that the circumstances have changed, and then you find yourself picking a job, and just to get some dollars to pay your bills. And so you just find yourself doing this job. You hate it, but you just have to do it because it pays your bill. So you can't be proud of something you do every day with that kind of attitude. All right, now let's go to what can you do? What can you do to be able to change this? Jobs that people think pay less and people don't really want to associate with. We're talking about cleaning, disability support work, warehouse jobs, kitchen hand, working in restaurants, construction company, picking fruits, working in the farm, things like that. Some jobs that people think pay less and people don't want to associate with. What can we do to be able to change this? Now, number one, what you can do is change the narrative, okay? Start these jobs with pride. Do these jobs with pride, all right? Be proud to be a social worker. Be proud to be a disability support worker, because you're really helping the community. You're really apart from getting the funds, apart from getting salary and getting paid, you're really, really doing a good service to the community. If you view it that way, if you view it as a calling, if you view it as what you're contributing to the society, then you can derive some pride from it, all right? So just don't, change the narrative. Be proud of what you're doing. Be proud of being a cleaner. When you walk into a place where you work and everything is organized and clean, and everyone is enjoying the environment because of your work, that contribution, be proud of it, all right? Be proud of being, working in construction, okay? Talk about it with pride, and then you will be able to change the narrative, all right? Tell people stories about the lives that you've changed, the lives that you have touched, whether working in nursing homes, working in disability service providers, companies, whether working in hotels, construction companies. Tell people of good stories, things that you've been able to contribute to the community. Number two, look at what the money that you earn from these jobs have helped you to do. Maybe you've helped people back home. Maybe you've been able to finish your studies and now you're working. Maybe you've been able to buy a house or construct a house, whatever the funds have helped you to achieve. Enjoy that, all right? Be proud of that. Be proud of that. I'll tell you a story. When we moved to Australia, the first few weeks, and we had just rented a house, and we were looking for, household items. And I went into Facebook Marketplace, and there was this coffee table. Somebody was selling a coffee table, a beautiful coffee table. So I asked, the address, and I went to buy this coffee table. And I went into this house, nicely built house. He opened the door. The guy there opened the door. I went there in the evening. He opened the door, and this newly built house with a big theater room. There were kids watching big screen there, and one was playing basketball outside at the backyard. And very new furniture, well, nice arranged house. And I was like, wow, these are the first week experiences in Australia. I was in my heart, I was like, wow. I came to buy the coffee table, but I was looking around, and this guy, I asked him, I just took courage and asked him, hey, what do you do? What do you do for a living? And this guy told me that I'm a cleaner. I clean at night. And I was so surprised, with my mentality back home. Cleaners are not supposed to live this kind of life. What do you mean you're a cleaner? Well, I didn't say that loud, but in my mind, I'm like struggling with that. I asked him, you say you're cleaning? Which company do you clean for? So it cleans Woolworths store at night, and the wife works for a disability service provider company. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, no way. You're a cleaner and your wife is working for disability company, and you have this new home. And they said, yeah, we have just moved in a few months ago, and we were able to build this from the proceeds from our work. I was shocked. I was expecting him to tell me, I'm a doctor, or I'm an accountant, or I'm an engineer, and things like that. What kind of a mentality? So we need to enjoy the proceeds from the work that we do. In Australia, or I think equally in first world countries, any job pays. If you put in the hours and you're diligent enough and you do your work well, you are paid, you're compensated well, and you're able to organize yourself. You can, do well in any career. So please change this narrative. Change this narrative and be proud of what you're doing. The third thing that we need to do is educate our people. Tell people, let's talk about these things. Why are we not, proud of this kind of jobs that we're doing? Let's talk about it in our communities. Teach people back home. Tell your people the kind of work you're doing. Tell them, mimi ni mtu wa mjengo. I'm working in a construction company, and this is what I do. And if they're like, why do you do that? Look for a better job. Explain to them that you're paid well. Explain to them that you're enjoying your work and things like that. Be able to educate your people, and let's change this narrative. The next thing that we need to do is be professional, okay? Be professional in whatever you're doing. Whether you're a support worker, whether you're a social worker, whether you're in the construction company, treat your work with a bit of professionalism. Cleaners, whatever you're doing, be professional and enjoy your work, okay? When you're talking about what you're doing, when you're attending your work, be early, present yourself, communicate well, and let's, build professionalism, around whatever we are doing. And with that, we'll look professional. With that, we'll enjoy the kind of work, and we'll be proud of whatever we're doing. And also, please, let's mentor newcomers. Let's mentor, people who come here. Just like myself, when I was new, then I found this, everyone is doing this kind of job, and I start talking to them. I start seeing what they have been able to achieve, and I start asking questions. Like I asked the man that sold me a coffee table, please talk. Let's talk about this to the newcomers. Tell them this is what we do. This kind of job pays well if you work, like this. let's mentor these people so that we change this narrative. So that when they come here and they find this is the job that they have to do, they don't need to be stressed. They don't need to have this, oh, now I came, I left my kind of work and here I am doing this kind of work. They don't need to feel that way. When we talk to them, when we explain to them that these jobs are okay, these jobs pay well, and these jobs you can actually, achieve great things doing this job. So let's talk to the newcomers. And also let's remind people, work is not identity. I'm Barnabas first before what I do at work. Before you are an accountant, before you are a support worker, before you are a cleaner, you are a person, okay? So let's separate that, all right? And so that we let work be work and let ourselves be ourselves. Yeah, and lastly, let's also be very flexible. Whether you're doing a job for a survival mode or this is the kind of career that you've settled on, please let's be flexible. For example, you might be doing a job for survival and you find out that it's actually paying well and you're enjoying it better than the job that you actually wanted to do. And why not? You can change a career or you can build a business around what you're doing or what you're enjoying. So let's be flexible, all right? Let's not, have this that I cannot be a construction worker, I cannot be this, I cannot be that. You might find that you actually enjoy that kind of environment better than what you wanted to do, all right? There are people who have come here and have changed careers. I've spoken before about a guy who was a trained vet, and when he came here and the first 2 years was not, he wanted to continue to do that and he was not able to get opportunities, he quickly thought I should, just pick up a course, do it and change. And he later on did IT and he's worked for, biggest companies here in Australia, all right? But he was able to quickly think and, be flexible, all right? Because opportunities are there, and if you can be flexible enough, you can either turn this kind of jobs into a good career or even a business or whatever you want to do, all right? But you need to be flexible. You need to know that all these jobs pay well if you can put hours, if you can do well professionally, and then, rewards will come. All right, you see, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Just like my friend, he said as a joke that he would run away if his former boss would appear, but there was some truth in it. Many people are not proud to be working in construction companies, to be cleaners, to be support workers, to be working in aged care. Many people are not proud of what they're doing, to work in the farms, all right? But let's change the narrative. To be honest, you're paid better than your professional jobs back home, all right? So please be proud. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the benefits of your work, all right? And also know that you can, if you're flexible enough, you can build a career out of this kind of jobs. You can build a business. You can do whatever you want. Whether you're still doing it, just for survival or just temporary, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Let no one put stigma on this kind of professions, all right? That's all I had for you today. Please share with us what's your thought about this, things that you believed before, and now that you've stayed in the diaspora for a while, you have changed your mind about. Thank you very much for watching. And please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are doing well, and please continue to subscribe. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and other social media platforms. That's all I had for you today. My name is Barnabas, the son of encouragement. Bye-bye, and God bless you.